So, welcome back, guys. Thank you for joining us. Another dumpster talk. Todd and I here. Another lovely Monday morning.
Yep, good weather.
This keeps coming. I feel like I just snapped my fingers and we're back in here.
Back at it.
It's crazy. But so today we're welcome with two very special guests, Rae Ann, who I've met before, and then also Peter. So these guys are with EDC. Thank you guys for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
For coming.
First podcast, right?
Yeah, first time in a dumpster, so this is
Yeah,
exciting.
that's also true. Got to see the whole place earlier. It was really cool. So
We cleaned it up a little bit for you guys.
Appreciate it.
Still a little dirty.
Yeah,
that's looking good.
It's cool. We were just talking. You're right in our age. Graduated the year after us, so it's cool to kind of see some people our age coming to be able to part of the dumpster talk or meeting them out and about. It's awesome.
Happy to be on.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming.
So if you guys kind of just want to get started with kind of talking a little bit about yourselves and kind of maybe what your journey kind of brought you here. Yeah.
You
Yeah,
go
for
first.
sure. All right, sounds good. So I am initially from Northern Indiana, and I in college studied mathematics. I love math. I think it's really exciting and a good way to tell a story. And then I also really wanted to help people and wanted to combine those two together. So I started majored in mathematics and then also went into teaching. So I started as a middle school math teacher during COVID years, which was a hard year to start teaching. And then I wanted to kind of explore different ways to use math to help people. And so I ended up finding a voluntary service here called the Shalom Project, which is actually based out here in Lancaster, and how I came. And so we came out here and lived in a house there were 6 of us young adults, and we all volunteered full time at different nonprofits in the community. And the Shalom Project's really cool because it connects you with what your passion is with a nonprofit in a way that you can use that to help people in a community. And so I got connected with EDC and got to work on a housing analysis under an economist, Naomi, there at the time. And so we got to look at the housing market in Lancaster County and how households were growing and how housing stock was growing and see what was the need in the community. And then very excitedly, they hired me on, and I've been continuing to work there doing analytics on the economy and data analytics with local nonprofits, which has been an exciting way to use that passion of math to kind of help people here in Lancaster. And plus I stayed because it's such an awesome community. Just the connectedness here is really beautiful, and the way people care about each other. Appreciate it.
That's awesome. Thank
awesome.
you. What about you?
So I'm originally from South Jersey in a town called Glendora. It's a little 15 minutes outside of Philadelphia. And I came up to Lancaster to go to Millersville University, which was a good experience. I had no clue what I wanted to do, and I ended up majoring in economics and got connected with a professor she's the one that convinced me to do economics and also is the one that got me in touch with EDC. So I interned at EDC last summer, and in the fall they wanted me to continue. And then I graduated from Millersville University in December, and there was a full-time job opening up, a full-time position, because we were trying to increase capacity so we can continue to help the community. And they liked me enough to keep me on. So happy to be here. I've been at EDC for 8 months full-time. So
Awesome.
We're super
Congrats.
lucky to have him. He's very
Thank
great.
Congrats. For the listeners that might not know, what is the EDC?
Great question. So we are a local nonprofit, and the main goal is to help the local economy here and help businesses grow and stay here so we keep good paying jobs in our community. We do that through a few different methods. So one of the branches that we do are financial services. And so we're able to help businesses access low interest loans from the government. And so we help first generation farmers. We also help businesses as they're growing and building capacity get access to that cheaper capital so that they can grow and stay here and offer more jobs. And then we also have two other branches. So we have our business expansion and retention, where we go out and talk to over 100 different businesses a year, really to try to understand what's happening here in Lancaster County, what's going well for businesses, what are challenges for businesses. And then we work on long-term strategies there to try to help the overall business community. So looking into things like industrial land and where businesses can expand that are already here that we want to keep in this area if they're growing. Looking at water and sewer infrastructure, outdoor recreation, things of that nature. And then we also have our Center for Regional Analysis, which is where Peter and I work. And we do data analytics on the economy, really trying to understand what's happening here, because a lot of economic data that we see is United States level or even state level, where you're getting a lot of data skewing to Philly or Pittsburgh, these really big cities. And it's important to understand what's happening here if you're making local decisions for your business here. One of the examples that I always give is if you look at office vacancy rates over the past year or so, they've been at around 20% nationally, right? But locally, they're under 4%. And so knowing your market to make that decision here can really help businesses. And so we do that. And then we've also started to branch a little bit too into doing some more consulting work. So we've done projects based on people's questions that they have. For example, housing analysis. We've done a post-secondary education analysis looking into specific industries and their workforce and how much supply is coming in, how many people are graduating with the needed certificates, and then how many workers are needed coming in. And then we also do some work with local funders too, helping them analyze the impact they're having in the community through their individual programs and broader community-wide impact to make sure we have lots of wonderful funders in our community, and making sure those dollars are going towards impactful change is exciting to see.
Yeah, and I think that's really important too, is just trying to bring everyone together as a community and to have like that hub to where we can be like, okay, this is where you're at, this is where you're at, but how can we come together to like push the community to be better?
Yep. It's always good going to events where you're usually giving the presentation on the numbers. And I always like specifically the housing market because we're young and trying to get a house. And,
Yeah.
It's a hard market.
yeah, it's tough. But yeah, thank you for sharing that. What initially kind of drew you guys to the EDC, and what do your daily kind of current roles look like?
Yeah, so I can go first this time. So I was looking for an internship. I wasn't required an internship at Millersville for the economics degree, but I was looking for one because I figured it's pretty good to get work experience if you're trying to get into the workforce, which a lot of people are struggling to do that right now. So I feel you. Sorry if you're one of those, but stick with it. But so I was looking for something more data-wise, and like I said, my one professor, Dr. McPherson, she got me connected with EDC because I told her I was looking for an internship. And they were like data analysis, which is the aisle I wanted to go with econ. A lot of people go with finance, but that I didn't really feel like going that route. And so I wanted to explore something new, which I did, and I really enjoyed it. So I wanted to stay on at EDC.
Perfect. What about you?
Yeah, so I got to EDC through doing the Shalom Project, wanting to combine helping people with analytics and math and being able to use that in a meaningful way. And then kind of day to day, what that looks like for us is we do a lot of analytics behind a computer and looking at what's happening in the economy, individual projects. We do analytics for Lancaster and for other counties around us too, really trying to understand what's happening in our community through numbers. And then we also go out and talk to a lot of businesses and talk to a lot of our colleagues who talk to a lot of businesses and understand people's experience and why are things happening? What is the sentiment around how businesses are feeling? And then we get to combine those together through conversations with Peter and I, with our team, and really paint together a story of the narrative of what we're seeing here in Lancaster County. And then my favorite part is then getting to go and share that with people because I really think it's useful for businesses and just community in general to make informed decisions. And so it's exciting to kind of gather those pieces together, whether it's through the numbers analytics or people's stories, and then being able to share that in a way that people can make useful, helpful, strategic decisions based off of that information. Yeah.
What is the biggest thing you guys are kind of seeing that you think the people should know that they probably don't, specifically in Lancaster County?
Yeah. So I could talk for hours on this topic, but I'll try to go a high level. I'll give one or two, and then if you want to give one as well. So I think for me, one of the biggest things is our aging workforce, right? So over the last 10 years, so if you look from 2000 to 2020, we've seen our population shift older. And so you have about 10% more of our population over the age of 55, which means we also have less people who are prime age workers between 25 and 54 years old. We have about over 6% less of our population in that prime working age. And so that really affects our workforce. For example, we're having a lot more people get close to or reach retirement age, which is great for them. That's exciting. They've worked hard. But when you look at the demographics, we don't have as many people coming to backfill those positions. So what does that look like when you lose that incredible knowledge and wisdom of people who've been in the industry for years? It's really important for local businesses to be strategic in thinking, how do you pass down that information? How do we upskill people to fill so that we're able to continue to grow in our economy here locally?
Yeah, I think one of the cool things about Lancaster's economy is, I mean, you drive around and you see all the farms, so you probably think agriculture is like the top industry for everything, and it does funnel through, like when it comes to our manufacturing and whatnot. But manufacturing really is our top industry, which is really interesting to me. Like I would have never thought that when I was just driving around or coming up here. And then also healthcare as well. There's a lot of great healthcare places around here too that hire and produce a lot of GDP for Lancaster's economy, and I think that's really interesting.
That's awesome. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah, for sure. Todd and I definitely have noticed that for sure with like people we've done podcasts with. We didn't realize that this area and York as well is like such a big manufacturing hub.
Yeah.
And one of the really cool things too about our manufacturing is it's pretty diversified too. So we have manufacturing in lots of different industries, which is really helpful when you have kind of headwinds hit, right? You're able to kind of settle in a little bit better when you have those other industries to be able to help us settle it out.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting when we talk to other scrap yards. They don't have as much manufacturing near them, so our business model is kind of different because 85% of our business is manufacturing customers.
Oh wow, yeah.
So it's really interesting talking to them about that. Kind of to shift gears a little bit. Have you guys had like a influential mentor or leader kind of in your life that kind of pushed you towards what you're doing today?
Yeah, you want to go first, Peter?
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I don't know if I have had like one singular person, but I think I've had a bunch of people like care for me and try and pour into my life. I really appreciated my professors at Millersville. I would go to their office hours and just have conversations with them, and it would open my eyes to different industries or different things that's going on, different types of jobs I can get into. And like I said, the one professor that got me connected with EDC, I always have a great appreciation for her as well. But I don't know if I can think of one specific person that I would consider that main mentor.
Yeah, no, that's perfect. Thank you. What about you?
Yeah, I would echo that. I have been very lucky to have a lot of really important mentors in my life. I'll just name a few locally. So I worked under Naomi at EDC before when I first got there, a wonderful economist, and just getting to hear her way of viewing the world and way of understanding business, right, and the local economy. I came from a numbers background, and so she kind of opened my eyes to this way to use numbers and analytics to kind of create meaning, and just the way that she would talk about and think through the way the data that connected to real life examples was really impactful for me, and I found really meaningful. And just the way that she helped me see that approach there was really meaningful. And also got to connect with the chamber has a wonderful young adult mentoring program, which is wonderful, where they connect you with people and leaders in the community. And I got to be connected with Sandy Gamboni from Water Street. Yeah, I see the smiles. She's such an incredible woman. Just her passion for community and people and connecting people was just such a gift to be able to learn from her, and just how to approach the workforce, and even how to be able to kind of know your worth and be able to advocate for yourself. And share information and connectedness with others in the community was really powerful.
That's perfect. Sandy was actually just on 2 weeks ago.
I love it.
Yeah, right there behind.
She's wonderful.
Yeah, no, they're
Feel
great.
honored to be in the seat that she was in.
No, they're great people.
If you don't mind, I also have to share a little bit of appreciation for Ezra, our president, because
He's
I ask
incredible.
him a ton of questions and he's always like willing to answer, and I really appreciate that. He's probably like, "Oh, I'm so sick of this guy's questions," but he always answers my questions, and it's I really appreciate that because I always have a lot of questions.
Yeah, no, it's good to have those people that you're not scared to ask those questions to.
100%.
Because I feel like I'm asking stupid questions a lot.
Yeah.
So
Then you're learning from them, right?
Yeah,
Like,
but having
now you
those
don't
good
have anymore.
mentors that kind of don't tell you like that's a stupid question, they just answer it. That's definitely good to have. What has kind of been your favorite part about living in Lancaster? I know you went to college here. I'm not sure how long you guys lived here, but what's your favorite part so far?
Right. So I've been here about 4 years, and I love the community. I think there's this beautiful approach to living in Lancaster that just people care about each other in this really meaningful and action-focused way. People want to help each other. We have incredible nonprofits here, like a lot of nonprofits compared to a lot of community, because I think so many people want to give back and want to lift each other up. And I think that's just an incredible place to live and be around. And then also just I love nature, and there's a lot of really cool things to do here. I'm a big rock climber and hiker, and there's just a lot of awesome places here to be able to connect nature with community, with the city. We're pretty lucky.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you have a favorite trail that you've went on around here?
Yes, I love Safe Harbor, the climbing out by Safe Harbor where you overlook the river and you can kind of climb up the walls there. It's quite beautiful.
Yeah.
Sure.
What about you?
Yeah, I think my favorite part about Lancaster is that, I mean, there's just a lot here. Like, there's the city, which I appreciate the safety of the city because I do love a nice urban area. And sometimes, like, being from the Philadelphia area, sometimes that's not the best.
Yeah.
But Lancaster always seems really safe to me. And I also appreciate a lot of the outdoor activities. Like, there's a lot of cool parks in the area, and I'm still learning more about them as I live around here longer because I've only been here for 4 years now, and a lot of that time was spent like on Millersville's campus. So I never really got out too much, but trying to do that more. Like Overlook Park's really cool, Book Miller Park. There's a lot of cool parks out there, and I like those. So
Yeah, it's interesting. I can't imagine being like someone new coming here because I grew up 2 blocks this way. Alex grew
That's
up 2 blocks
awesome.
that way.
Yeah.
So it's interesting to see what people kind of really like about this area. We have a lot of friends in college, or I guess back in high school, that would leave for college and they were excited. And then once they leave for a couple months, they kind of miss it. So kind of having that appreciation here is awesome to have.
Is there anything that's kept you guys in the
Yeah.
area? Like what makes you want to stay?
Yeah, I would just say it's probably just like this is where all of my people are really. So it's hard for me to want to leave that. Yeah. And
Yeah,
I'm just kind of used to it's just kind of how my whole life had been. Yeah, just around here.
I would agree. I call it home base Columbia
Yeah.
because it's kind of small. Because I like traveling a lot, but I like to have like a place where I'm comfortable. All my family live in Columbia. So that's kind of why I've stuck around. Dan always makes fun of me and say we're stuck in our
Yeah, could hold us back sometimes, I guess.
5-mile radius, but
But
it's just like it's a
Yeah.
great place to kind of be.
Yeah, great people is an important part to a happy life, I think.
For sure. What would you guys say your vision kind of is for Lancaster County? Because you guys are behind kind of the analytics of it. Do you have a vision for the next kind of 5 to 10 years that you kind of see things going?
I think I want to see Lancaster continue to work together. I think we have a great, like a bunch of different organizations, like Rae Ann said, a bunch of different nonprofits and even like for-profit organizations that are willing to come together to try and pursue the best community that we can have. And I think just continuing to bring even different-minded people and like-minded people together to come discuss those things and try and see where we want Lancaster to go. And I think that's the best way to pursue forward in the next 5 to 10 years.
For sure.
Yeah, building off what Peter said, yeah, the amount of care that for-profit and just community members in general have is incredible. And so there's a lot of desire for great things. And so where I get excited, where we're in, is that intersection of how do you metric track and make sure that the goals that we have, because I think most people want a lot of really good things for our community. How do you metric track the strategies that we're using as a community and align them together across different organizations so that you're all kind of working towards that same goal and checking every time and saying, okay, this went well, this didn't go well, why? And have those conversations about looking at the numbers changing and the experiences of people and combining those together to create really unique solutions and doing that together because, yeah, as you said, a lot of people want to come together and work. And so being able to metric track and make sure we're going in the right direction and keep pushing in that direction is exciting.
Definitely. Do you guys see anything happening in the housing market? Like we said earlier, we're trying to buy houses actively, and they're pretty pricey. Do you see anything kind of
That's
changing
true.
with that? Maybe getting better, worse? Any update on that?
Yeah, that's a great question. I will give my best answer to it, but it is a little tricky looking forward. So we do have a very tight housing market. I know you've heard some of the conversations we've shared about how in 2022, Lancaster County had the lowest vacancy rate out of all metropolitan statistical areas, all like economic areas in the United States. And vacancy is important in order to create movement, right? Because with housing, you kind of move out and then there's those open ones and then people buy new houses. And so supply becomes really important in economics, that idea of supply versus demand. And right now we have a lot more demand than supply. And so in order for prices to go down, you have to have that be a little bit closer. To shift that. And so we are starting to see some more supply come online in the past few years. There's been a good amount of kind of 2-bedroom, 1-bedroom apartments being built, which is exciting to see more supply. And so I'm very curious to see how that will kind of filter through our overall market once we kind of adjust for that higher supply and see what that does to prices. But sadly, I do not have an exact answer for you.
Yeah, it's interesting when we go
Market.
to events. I feel like every year the average just goes up like
Yeah.
just a little bit. I think the last time I heard it was like 316,000 in Lancaster.
Yeah, and
as
it's going to
an
be
average.
hard for the average to go down. Like once you hit that price, and that would cause some larger economic challenges if we see housing prices go down, especially with inflation. It's just kind of looking at how fast things are increasing, I think is where we're at.
Yeah. Yeah, we're praying for the best.
Yeah.
I'm in the same boat as you guys, so
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I'm comfortable in my mom's basement right now.
Yeah. Save the money, then you can, yeah.
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
next
Thank
one?
you guys for sharing that.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Has there can you guys think about like a challenging setback you guys might have had so far in your career? I know it's really early, but could you guys think of any of those examples? And sorry about the noise. We'll edit around
oh, you're
that.
good.
No, you're totally good. Yeah, challenging setbacks. I'm also relatively early in my career, so I feel like I haven't had a ton of experience with that. I think the biggest one would just be when I went into teaching in 2019, where everything was normal, and then everyone experienced COVID,
Yeah.
right, in 2020, which was just obviously challenging on many different fronts. And so learning a lot of there was one point where I was teaching with I had online students in the computer and a headset in because we weren't allowed to have them like the in-class students hear them. So I had like a headset in one ear, and then I was like listening to like 25 middle school students in the other ear and trying to teach kind of math to both groups, and would get a question in my ear and then like re-say it out loud. And anyway, that was very challenging, but also taught me a lot of skill sets of being able to kind of handle lots of different information, be able to speak to crowds of different people and be able to explain information in helpful ways, and not get kind of thrown off by quick changes in an environment. And so definitely challenging, but led to kind of, I think, has helped me in, times where you're giving a presentation and maybe the slides don't work or something, right? And being able to have to like kind of think on the speak and think on your feet and explain things to people. I feel it like feels a little more natural because of that challenge that I've
Yeah,
had.
no. Thank you for sharing that. What about you?
Yeah, I can't say I've had any like big setbacks, but I think one of the hardest things since coming on full time is just trying to soak in a lot of the community information because, like we said earlier, the EDC does so much. So I'm trying to get a better understanding of Lancaster County and a better understanding of what the EDC does. Especially not being from Lancaster, there was a lot to learn, and there's still a ton more to learn. So just constantly having that learner's mindset and just trying to focus on that. It can get a little overwhelming at times, but just yeah, that's probably the hardest part of since coming on.
Has it been a big change kind of moving here? Like, do you plan on staying for a while?
Yeah, I mean, right now in my plans is definitely to stay. I definitely miss my family, my parents back home. But I do enjoy it out here. I have a good community out here as well, some good friends out here. So
Yeah, I always think it's cool when people can kind of move away a little bit, because I think it is good for the person to kind of get out and kind of see the world on their own. Like I've said, I've been in Columbia my whole life, so I haven't gotten that, but it's always cool to hear people's kind of stories with that.
yeah, and it's not too far away either. It's only like 2 hours.
Yeah,
so
not a bad
it's not too
drive.
bad.
I have to ask, every time we meet someone close to Philly, what's the best Philly cheesesteak?
I don't go around too much. I like Jim's a lot though. Jim's is pretty good.
Okay, I heard Jim's is good.
Yeah, except the other time I went, they didn't have enough cheese on there, so gotta get extra cheese.
Yeah, I got you. You have anything?
No, I think we kind of have a question that we always end them off with. Is just what advice would you give? You are kind of starting out your career. What advice would you give to Todd and I starting out our career? What advice would you give to someone freshly graduating college? Yeah.
I'll let you go first, Peter.
Yeah, freshly graduating college, I'd say it's important to make connections and get in the community. I think when looking for a job, a lot of times it's who you know and what you know rather than just this is my credentials. If you know someone, you're way more likely to get into a specific industry. I've seen that with friends. I've seen that with myself as well. I think that's super important. So that would be my biggest piece of advice.
Yeah, that's great for sure.
Yeah.
Good advice.
Yeah, that's good advice.
Thanks.
Helpful to network and connect with people for sure. The one that I would give is that, so growing up, I love math, but I also have I'm a people person. I love connecting with people. And so at different times throughout college and high school and growing up, a lot of people would push me a way, because I didn't have the typical personality of a math person, right? They would kind of push me into other directions, but I really had this passion. And so I was always a little bit conflicted because I felt like I wasn't quite fitting in this math group because of my personality, but I also wasn't quite fitting in only people jobs because I really loved math, right? And that was tricky for a while. And I saw it as kind of a setback for a while, like how can I fit into these groups in a way I want? And then as I've gotten deeper into my career, I found that it's actually a little bit of like a superpower to be able to kind of cross between different groups. And so the ability for me personally to be able to take the love of math and then the love of people and explain it to people is a place that not everyone is able to do, right? And so I think what I'd encourage people to do is not feel like you have to fit in just one box, but find like what are those things that you love to do and how can you connect them in a way that can make you unique and make you really valuable to a community and be able to help in situations that maybe not everyone would be able to be in.
Yeah, no, thank you guys
Really
for
great.
sharing that.
Really great advice.
I actually have one more thing. A fun fact about your guys' self outside of work that like maybe your coworkers wouldn't think, or people you meet at networking events, stuff like that.
All right. So mine would be I'm a 10-year swine club 4-H'er. So I raised pigs and showed pigs at the 4-H
wow.
fair for 10 years. So
My
I could
fiance would be so
Oh,
jealous.
that's awesome. Yeah, no, it's super fun. They're my favorite animal for sure, and I definitely know a lot about pigs
Okay.
more than
We're
people
gonna
might
have
expect.
to get into that after.
Oh,
this,
yeah.
but what about you?
Fun fact is always a hard question. What? Do we have time for a story?
Yeah,
Let's share a
of
story.
course.
All right, I always have issues traveling. So no matter where I go or where I travel, when me and my parents travel anywhere, we have issues. So like a year and a half ago, we were going down to Clearwater, Florida to go watch Phillies in spring training because I'm a big Philly sports fan, and so are they. So being from the area is kind of
I
contagious.
won't
But
hold that against you.
why? Who do you like?
No.
The Yankees.
Oh, jeez.
Ooh, that's a rough one.
Well, not really.
No.
But so going down there, we're like, okay, we gotta go see the beach for a little bit. So we're gonna go dip our toes in the water, whatnot, and just hang out down there for a bit. So we couldn't find parking. We finally find this parking lot, and you had to like scan and like type in your license plate, which I hate. Like I'm more old school with that. Like just give me coins. And then so we go have fun, whatever, come back, and our car's not there. So we're like, uh-oh,
no.
what happened? So our car was towed, and it ended up being my fault because the Florida license plate, the B looked like an 8, so I mixed them two up.
Oh,
So our car was towed. My parents are like really mad. So I'm like on the phone with the towing people trying to be calm, which if you know me, sometimes I'm really not the calmest, but I try and be more calm than my parents sometimes. But so I'm like on the phone with them, like, all right, like, how are we figuring this out? So we get an Uber back to our hotel. Me and my dad Uber to the towing place, and we're waiting there for like 2 hours. We finally get our car back after all that. Then afterwards, the next day, our flight to come back got canceled. So we're looking for, like, while we're at the Phillies game. So, like, the second half of the game, like, I couldn't even tell you what happened to that
man.
game because we're trying to find a new flight because this was, it was a Saturday? Yeah, it was a Saturday, and I had to be back at school on a Monday. So we're like, all right, we got to get back soon. So we're looking for a new flight. That took forever. We finally found one on Expedia, and Expedia, it just wouldn't go through. So,
Oh, no.
so then apparently that was fully booked. It wouldn't go
Oh,
through.
man.
And then my parents finally found another one, and we had to drive to Orlando, and then we had a connecting flight in Cincinnati to then get back to Philly. So
Sounds brutal.
we drove to Orlando. Spirits are still high. We're still trying to keep the good vacation spirits high. Get to Orlando. Our flight's at like 3 a.m., so we had to like sleep. The TSA didn't show up until after because it was daylight savings. So we
Oh,
were like scared we're
no.
gonna be late. My dad put my mom's birthday in wrong.
Oh, no.
So she has to go back in line and fix it all. And she's like stressing out that she's gonna miss the flight. And then so we get on the flight in Orlando, get to Cincinnati, and then we're in Cincinnati, and now it's Sunday morning, and our flight in Cincinnati gets canceled. So we have to drive from Cincinnati all the way back to our home in New Jersey. And sorry, this is a bit of
How
a tangent,
far
but I
is
think it's
that?
fun. That was like, it's like 10 hours. We had to drive through all of Ohio and all of Pennsylvania.
Oh, I would be so
It's a long
mad.
drive.
I would have just moved to Cincinnati.
So yeah, we showed
Started
up.
a home there.
see, I feel like I had bad luck, like the same as you, but I don't think that many things have went wrong for me one time.
Well, it continues if you want to hear the
Oh,
rest.
no.
So we're driving, we get stuck in a snowstorm
Oh, man.
in the middle of PA, like just past Pittsburgh. And we're in a minivan at this point. I like fully crashed out. I was like, I'm done with this now.
Oh my lord.
But we're in the middle of a snowstorm and our neighbors call us and they're like, your front door is like wide open. So we thought someone went in and robbed us, which thankfully they didn't. But so we got home. I had to get my car from the shop because it was like messed up and I had to drive back to Millersville that night. Sorry, I hit the wire. And then, so like me and my dad were like taking corners around our house to make sure no one was in our house. But
Oh my lord.
Yeah.
so it was a crazy story.
That
but
sounds like a nightmare.
Yeah, that's wild. And now anytime I have like one thing go wrong, I'll be like, well, at least it wasn't that.
I mean, even a connected flight
rough.
alone is
Yeah.
just like a mess. I
Yeah.
mean, like, and adding all that on top of it, that's brutal.
Yeah.
it was crazy.
Yeah,
Me and my
thank-
buddies last summer, we went to Florida too. We went to St. Augustine, and we flew to Jacksonville and had to get an Uber from Jacksonville to St. Augustine's, like almost an hour or
That'd
whatever.
be expensive.
So already it's like $200 Uber, and then, it was me and 5 of my buddies. So we split it, whatever, and then about 10 minutes into the ride on the highway, he gets a flat, and the guy, he's just like this older guy. He didn't know how to change the flat,
Oh,
so we had to do that.
you changed his flat for you?
He's
Yeah,
lucky
we
you
did
were
it.
in the car.
Didn't you
helping
have
him
to
out.
change clothes because you were sweating?
Yeah,
Oh no.
and then
I
but I
think
did
I
get a
remember
free
getting
Uber
a-
ride then.
Oh, that's nice.
It was free.
That's helpful.
I was going to ask if he gave you guys a discount after that.
After that.
That's wild. I have to ask about the pigs though.
Yeah,
My
please.
fiance wants a pet pig to name Pickles so bad, and I tell her no because it's not easy. I would say.
Would it be inside or outside?
Who knows? I mean, we live at my parents' house,
Okay,
so that's
that's
not happening. But when we get a house, she really wants a pig.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's not coming in the house. Are they hard pets?
Um,
Kind of.
Not really. They just eat anything. But to be fair, I raised them for meat. So I don't
Okay.
know if she's in the same boat. But
Yeah, she's
there's-
she just like she always says how she wants to get them like little pink boots, and it's just a
yeah, maybe we had different approaches to things.
Yeah. No,
but
yeah. I had to
they are
ask
very
that.
cute, to be honest.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm pro pig all the way.
So yours weren't really pets.
No, well, you raised them for a
food.
year, and then I cried when they died, and then you got really excited when the bacon was in the freezer. So
Yeah.
full circle, connected to our food.
Well, thank you guys. We appreciate you guys kind of taking the time to come on. Is there any kind of point that you guys want to hit that we might not have gotten to, that you want them to know about the EDC or yourselves?
Yeah, or any questions for us too? If you had any, I don't know.
I'll put in a plug. If you want to look at our latest intelligence report, it's on our website. So
And we'll have
That's a
we'll
great
have
one.
your website link at the bottom of the
sweet.
description.
yeah,
So.
check it out.
I'd be curious to ask too. I know Dan was talking to us about the really cool way you guys track metal prices in order to be selling them, and I know you guys do some awesome videos to show with clients. How do you guys? What are your guys' thoughts on the way that you guys approach the tracking of prices and just national data in order to be informed here? With the way that you guys are selling the metal.
Yeah, so Dan kind of, he has a lot of that stuff kind of in his head. So he's kind of taught us over the past 4 years. But our main thing that we try to do is kind of teach our customers how they can kind of see the pricing, because we know what the pricing is, what we can buy it for and what we can sell it for. But like commonly in our industry, it wasn't like the most common thing to kind of share pricing. Like even some of our competitors, like you have to go into their facility to see what they're paying that day, and we just try to teach our customers like, hey, this is where you can look, because like as you can see, we hold a lot of our material, so that's kind of a good way we give our customers the opportunity to say like, hey, if they have a big dumpster full of steel and steel's down this month, they can kind of hold it and wait till next month. So I would say that's the biggest thing. I don't know if you have anything.
Yeah, I just think for the way we mostly use it, like Todd said, we hold a lot of the material, and like prices fluctuate or whatever. So we just basically have learned from Dan, like the way they operate it here is just to keep a good cash flow and like have obviously a lot of land so we can hold the stuff. And we just basically track it so we can kind of get the most out of what we're selling each time.
Yeah, and we also will send our customers like a formula sheet at the beginning of each month, so they can see like their percentage never changes. It's just like the overall value of the material, so they can kind of gauge like where they're at that month.
Yeah, the transparency you guys have is really beautiful and really, a testament to the care for the community and your guys' customers, especially like what you just said of keeping that percentage the same. It's just really, really great to see
Yeah.
local businesses really caring about the community and other businesses around here.
Yeah, we appreciate it. We just like to make it fair for our customers. Like, we have this space to kind of hold, so we like to just give our customers the ability to do that as well, because a lot of it looks like junk, but there's a lot of money in metal. So some of our customers get paid out a lot of money. So for them to have that kind of free will to hold it couple more weeks till it goes up, we like to be able to give them that.
Yeah, no, that's wonderful. And then to hit your question of what to leave people with, just reiterating, because I think it's super exciting and helpful to see is this importance of when you're wanting to understand a situation, whether that's in the community, economics, even what you guys are talking about here, right, with the metal. I think it's really valuable when you kind of combine those statistics and analytics that can see everything and everyone, because we can't see all 500,000 people in Lancaster County, right? Or all of the different, you can't talk to all of the different businesses every day, right? That you guys are working with, but to have those numbers that see everyone and then have those stories of the reasons why and understanding their experiences, which it's so clear that even like you guys know deeply, just like you were just saying, they can hold it, they can wait, what is their situation. And when you combine those together, I think that's where the magic happens, and you can really understand a situation from a depth that allows you to create creative solutions that help people, just like the work you guys are doing here and the way you're approaching it.
Absolutely. Well, we appreciate you guys for coming on. We'll have to do a part 2 later down the road. We're on our road to 100 episodes. This is episode 94.
Oh, let's go.
So
Feel
we're
honored.
6
We're
more.
getting close.
We're 6 away.
That's awesome.
We're getting
love
after
it.
it. So
I'm excited to sign the wall.
Yeah, and to see that 100th episode, that'll be exciting.
yeah, we're figuring out the guest. We don't want to spoil anything,
Yeah, that's
but I'm
fair.
thinking we'll do an in-house one with
That'd be cool.
maybe some different generations and stuff
Oh,
like
that'd
that.
be
cool.
beautiful.
Yeah, well, thank you guys, and
Sounds good.
we'll catch you guys on the next one.
Sounds great. Thank you.